All right, all right. Welcome back to the Tactical Businessman. As always, I am your host, Garrett Bake. And listen, if you want to see how you can improve your life, how you can improve your business, your tactics, your strategies, the way that you execute, and in the end, your results, go to winthedailywar.com. I got some free tools there for you. You guys can subscribe. You can download some stuff. It's really meant to help you get what it is that you want. So go to winthedailywar.com. Second place you can go, that's right, garrettbake.com. You can learn some more about me and what it is that I do. If that's something that you've been curious about and you haven't taken the time to listen to the 120 plus episodes of this podcast, which I know most of you won't, don't worry, I wouldn't either. But you can go there and learn a little bit more about me. But today, I wanted to talk to you about something called tactical momentum. Tactical momentum. And I want to start off with a story. When I was on the SWAT team, when I first started on the SWAT team, I thought that I knew what it meant to be tactical. Because we throw that word around a lot, right? And the police department is no different. We throw that word around. What does it mean to be tactical? And for me, being tactical was being slow and deliberate with my movements, understanding some of the strategies, if you will, for making sure that I was safe. These very broad-based ideas is what I thought was being tactical. And when I got onto the SWAT team and I started training with some of these men who had 15 years of training just on the SWAT team, I realized that my understanding of what it meant to be tactical was way off. So before we get started, I want to give you two definitions. One is for strategic and the second is for tactical. Because this entire episode, I'm going to talk about how these two words relate to you and your life. And don't worry, I know that you're not in the police department. I know that you're not on the SWAT team, and I know you're not currently deployed in the military. And that's okay. I want you to see how you can start to use these tactics in your own life and in your own business to get the results that you're after. So the first word, strategic. Strategic is relating to the identification of long-term or overall interests and the means of achieving them. Long-term or overall interests and the means of achieving them. In other words, what is it that I'm truly after? Endgame. When we talk about strategy, that is what we're talking about. What is it that we ultimately want, right? What are my interests? What are my aims? What are my focuses? But when we talk about tactics, a tactic is something relating to or constituting actions carefully planned to meet or gain a specific end. Carefully constituted actions planned to gain a specific end or outcome. Carefully constituted actions. So one is identifying where it is that you're going, and the other ones are the carefully constituted actions that will get you there. So when we talk about strategy, that's when you're identifying, okay, what is it that I'm trying to do? Where is it that I'm trying to go? When we're talking about tactics and a tactical approach, those are the specific and carefully planned actions that will lead to that outcome. Now, why do I say that? Going back to my experience with the SWAT team. When I thought being tactical was being sneaky, was being safe, was being smart, really what I was understanding was the overall strategic approach to things, right? Being tactical was understanding in a specific scenario the steps that I needed to take to ensure a successful outcome. Let me say that again. The steps that I needed to take to ensure a successful outcome. Now, when we talk about business, we talk a lot about outcomes because that's really what a business is. If you're not selling widgets, if you're not closing sales, if you're not acquiring clients, you have no business. You will be out of business rather quickly. Whether it's furniture or something online, it doesn't matter what it is. If you're not selling, you're not making money, you'll be out of business soon. We're not concerned with that. What we're concerned with is what? What steps can we take that will help us achieve the outcome that we want? But before we get those steps identified, we have to understand what is it that we really want? Because that will determine the steps that we take. Now, most of you, myself included, When I first started in business, it was like, yeehaw, here we go. I was doing everything and anything that I could because I thought that would lead me to money, right? I had this abstract idea of money, of getting paid. Finally, I'm my own boss and I get to get paid what I think I'm worth. Except the problem is I didn't even have any idea what it was that I was worth. So how is anybody going to pay me that? Does that make sense? So we have to take time to be very tactical about your approach. Now, over this last couple of days, I had a mastermind, a retreat, whatever it was you want to call it, with a few of my clients. They flew in here to Phoenix. We spent 2 days together. We had an amazing time. It was awesome. And I don't just say that because I ran the thing. I'm going to tell you some of the things that we did, and you're going to be like, man, that sounds awesome. So the first day, we started it out with a workout. And the workout was meant to reveal exactly where the guys were at right now. And I don't just mean physically, right? So we had a wall ball exercise. You're running a small lap with a ball. You're doing kettlebell swings. You're doing push-ups and sit-ups. Real simple 25-minute workout. But at the end, they were all what? They were all gassed. They were all tired, so on and so forth. And really, when I started to ask them, how does this relate to where it is that you are right now in business? One of the guys said, hey, I've been inconsistent. The other guy said, I've been distracted and trying to do too many things. And these common themes kept appearing. When we got to later on in the day, we were talking about a strategic approach to what it is that we're trying to do. And the first thing that the men had to get clear on was where it was that they were going. And I'll ask you the same question. Where is it that you're going right now in your business? And I don't mean today or next week or next month or maybe even next year. But where is it you're trying to take your business? If you own your own business or if you're a high-level executive, doesn't matter. You have some say in where it is that the business is going. Where are you trying to take the business? If you work for somebody else, where is it that you're trying to take yourself? Where are you trying to get to? The strategic approach will help you get clear on the actions, i.e. the tactics that need to be taken in order to get there. If you don't know where you're going, I will guarantee that you will never get there. So carefully planned actions come on the heels of a very strategic approach. I have a couple of doctors that I work with, some executives, some other small business owners, and the hardest thing for them to answer is where is it that they're going? It sounds like it would be the easiest thing, but it's really the hardest. So again, I ask you, where is it that you're going right now? Can you identify that? And if you can identify that, then it's time to talk about the second step, which is the tactics. What tactics are you putting in place that will help you get to where it is that you're trying to go? In other words, the carefully planned actions leading towards an outcome. This is where they come into play. Now, I had an example. I had each of these men stand and they had 15 minutes to pitch me and the rest of the men in the group their idea, their widget, their product, the thing that they were selling. And I will tell you that most of them failed miserably. And I say failed miserably because they were asked to identify who it was that they were selling to, either investors or financial planners or some specific person, other doctors. Who was it that they were selling to? So we could put ourselves in those shoes and understand what they were telling us. Most of the time, guess what happened? We were bored within the first 5 minutes. Now, it's a question that I have for you. When was the last time that you took time to actually pitch somebody on what it is that you do or how it is that you do it? You'd be surprised how cringeworthy it is. And yes, I said that, cringeworthy. See, I've gone through this experience multiple times, and what I realized was the exact same thing. I didn't have a great idea or a clear picture on who it was that I was talking to. Therefore, my presentation was all over the place, or it was completely unrelatable to the person I was talking to. Give you a perfect example. One of the men in the group, he's a doctor, and he is trying to find some investors for a project of his. He has a patent on a certain medical device. And so he said, okay, I'm pitching to investors. And he proceeded to talk to us about medical terms, about bacteria and diseases in hospitals, about patience, and about all of these things that literally bored us out of our mind. And 10 minutes in, I said, time out. And I said, by a show of hands, how many of you have any idea what he's talking about? Nobody raised their hands. I said, by a show of hands, how many of you are bored right now? Everybody raised their hands. I said, by a show of hands, how many of you would have already left the room? They all raised their hands. This is a hard thing to take, right? This constructive criticism. And I did this on purpose. Why? Because I wanted to make sure that he understood that he wasn't connecting with his audience. In other words, he had an idea of what he wanted, a strategic approach, but his tactics were horrible. So we, quote unquote, critiqued it. We talked about it. We got clarity on a lot of things, and I had him go back and take some time to kind of map things out. Went through another couple of the men and their presentations and talked about them, and then came back to this same doctor. And he got up and he told a story. He told a story about having to make a phone call to a family about how a mother had died because of a hospital-borne disease. She'd been infected in her fragile state, and a simple procedure had eventually, because of the bacteria that she'd been exposed to, killed her. And as he's telling this story, tears are streaming from his eyes. And we were all riveted. I tell you that for a reason. Because at that moment, he could have asked any one of us for $500,000 and we each would have come up with it. Because we were connected to him, we were connected to his story, and we were connected to where it was that he was going. And he was going to he was going to save lives. That was his focus, was saving lives through this medical device. Who wouldn't want to be involved in that? Now, that is a tactical approach. You might ask yourself, why I don't understand how a story could be so powerful. I don't understand how a story could make me want to buy something. Well, I challenge you, the next time you actually watch commercials or on TV or on the internet or wherever, any type of advertising, look at the ones that you're completely connected to. I guarantee you there's a story behind it. We as humans love stories. Why? Because it helps us connect, and that's ultimately what we want. Now, I haven't gone through any steps yet, and I get that. But I want you to understand this strategy and then how the tactics play into that overall strategy. Your tactics are intentional actions that lead to a desired outcome. A story, if you're selling something and you can connect with your audience through a story, you are 10 steps ahead of everybody else. People aren't going to buy your products and services because of the features. Why are they going to buy your products or services? Because of the benefits. So quit fooling yourself and thinking that they're buying the next shiny object. They're not. They're buying the benefits. Why do people buy iPhones? I saw a picture earlier today about it had a side-by-side of all the iPhones since they first started. And honestly enough, they all kind of look the same. But here we are, 15 years later, people are buying iPhones. Why? Well, not necessarily because of the features, right? 2 cameras versus 3, it's the benefits, right? What does it allow them to do? What status do they feel like it gives them? That's why people spend $1,000 on a phone. Not because of the features. It's the benefits. So I went a little deep, but I kind of didn't. I just want you guys to understand the difference between strategies and tactics and ultimately how it is that those can help you in your business, but also in your personal life. They all relate together. So if you can understand and get clear on what it is that your desired outcome is, i.e. your strategy, your overall strategy, and then the tactical approach, i.e. the specific and carefully planned out actions that will lead to your desired outcome, your life will all of a sudden make sense. Your business will make sense. You will understand clearly what's missing and what you need to put in to whatever sales cycle or marketing cycle or whatever it is that you have to connect with your audience, which ultimately produces more sales. Listen, you can make this as complicated as you want, or you can understand how it is that we as people work and what approach you can take that will get you the outcomes that you're after. All right, that's all I got for you today. Listen, again, go to winthedailyWar.com. I got a bunch of free stuff there for you. I will constantly be adding and putting some new things in there. If you're ready to talk to me, if you're ready to change your business, to, as they say, finally get over the struggles when it comes to achieving your business outcomes and truly get paid what you're worth, it's time for you to cut out the noise. Cut out the noise of all the things that you think need to get done. Here's the 3 things you need to worry about. Get clear, get focused, and get paid. That's it. Reach out to me. We'll have a conversation. If you're interested in one of my programs, you can go to thetacticalbusinessman.com and see some stuff there. All right. As always, though, it's easier to stay ready than it is to get ready. Take care, and we'll see you on the next one.